Hello again, and welcome to the Double Dog Day Trade community. If you haven't been with us yet, my name is Michael, and I want to thank you for joining us here as we work together to own our financial goals. We don't need professionals to do the work for us. My goal is to help you learn the essentials you need to day trade. In episode 3, we will discuss how to choose the best broker and platform to trade on. At the end of this episode, if you missed out on steps 1 and 2, be sure to revisit the episodes in the Day Trading 101 playlist on our channel. Just a hint of what's coming, don't sweat this decision too much. So we will separate the activities up in a couple of different areas. There are two main topics, right? Charting and trading. Why do we separate those? Well, most people are going to have multiple brokers that they want to trade with. That's just basically based on how much each broker can do, what their specialties are, but you typically want to only have one platform that you trade with. That allows you to learn it, to understand it, to know it, and to make things much easier for you. So let's get into the first topic here. That's brokers. Going through some of these in no particular order, but as you can see on the screen here, there are many options out there. And all of them do something a little bit different than each other. Some of them are a little better at certain things than others, and some of them are just easier to use depending on who you are. So what matters, right? What really comes, when it comes down to it, what do we really need to look for when we're picking our particular broker? Well, one of the key principles that we look at is keep it simple, right? We don't want to get bogged down in minutia. We don't want to have too many options here. So just keep that in mind as you're picking these things, right? Don't go for the whole shebang, but just look for whatever is the most simple, the easiest thing to get the job done that you are looking to get done. So the second thing you want to look for is what is it that you are trading, because different brokers do things differently. We have several main areas of securities that can be traded, and those are usually broken down into the following categories. We have stocks and underlying electronically traded funds, ETFs. We have options around those stocks and ETFs. We have futures. We have options on futures as well, Forex, and crypto. So as you can see, there's a lot of different options out there, and there is not a single broker that handles every one of those in the way that you're going to want to. So the first piece here is, remember, focus on what you're trying to trade and find the one that's going to do that the best for you. And just another note too is, as you go through and pick these brokers, it's not that big of a deal if you end up picking the wrong one or one that's not the best for you right off the bat. I have not seen a single one yet that charges you for their service. Once you open an account with them, the platforms and everything else is provided at no additional cost to you. So if you don't like it, it's not working out for you, then close the account out, move your money out, and move it to a different one. Again, I've not seen any charges for that, so it really makes it fairly simple. Once you've picked the areas that you're going to be trading in, the next biggest piece to look at is what are the transaction costs and fees for each of these. These are going to be very different depending on the type of service that you get, and also what your background is or what some specialties that you might have. I'll get into that in a little bit more detail shortly. Got up here on the screen, you're going to see what a typical chart might look like when it comes down to these fees and charges. And what you'll see here is there's a column called exchange and clear fees, and then the NFA fee. Now this is in particular just related to the futures contracts, right? You won't see these on everything, but those are fees that are related to the exchange that you're dealing with. Those can't be changed. Those are pass-throughs through the broker. So when you see those types of fees, ignore them, right? There is nothing you can do about them. Nobody can change them. What you're going to want to pay attention to is this column here called commission. That is the actual fee that the broker itself is charging you. And what you want to do is look at what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be trading, and try and get the best deal on them. There are many different options for pricing out there, and you need to make sure that you are trying to find the best one for you. We don't want to trade or care too much about what we're trading and the fact that we're putting trades on when it comes down to fees, but since you are picking this for the first time, go ahead and look for the one that's going to have the most reasonable cost for you. Some of the discounts that you can get here, I mentioned this, right? It depends on who you're trading with and what you're trading overall, and also potentially your background. A lot of brokers will give you either a military discount, a first responder discount, or some other organization, or group that you belong to. So look for those types of discounts. And then they also will potentially give you discounts on your fees based on the size of the account overall, and then again the volume of the trades. Most of us start off pretty small with a very low volume of trades, so we're not really going to be getting into those big discounts right off the bat. But just keep that in mind. It's something to keep in the back of your head. Ask the questions of them to see if they will give that to you later on down the road. One other thing to note about fees is you can negotiate them down. Again, something to keep in mind for later on as your account size grows, or as you're potentially doing more and more volume, right? You're going to have the opportunity to go back to your broker and say, hey, I've got a much bigger account now. Can you give me a discount on the fees itself? And they will do that. I've been able to accomplish that a couple of times over my short day trading career so far. That's it for our broker selection. And again, just to remember there, if you pick the wrong one, or if the one that you picked isn't working out for you, you can usually just close the account up pretty quickly, move the money over to a different one, and move on. You aren't locked into them, for a long period of time. Now let's talk about charting platforms. What are we going to look for when we're looking at charting? There is a significant benefit to having them both be the same, right? You have the same charting platform as you do with your broker, but it's certainly not required. There's no absolute link between the two, and honestly some of the better options for charting now are not tied to brokers. TradingView is a really good example of that. So if you find one that isn't tied to a broker and that you can get either for free or for a very small monthly charge, then that's certainly an okay way to go. As we stated, you will potentially have multiple brokers, so multiple trading platforms, but again, try and only have one charting platform. You do see that if you watch the daily prep show that we do each day, I do use two of them, but that's only because one of the correlation markets that we look at, the DAX, isn't available on TradeStation. So I've had to go find a different charting platform that I've had to learn and use to chart just the DAX security. The key point to talk about when we're talking about charting platforms, it's very subjective, right? It's the one that feels the best for you, the one that you are best able to use. There isn't really any hard data, nothing black and white that you can point to that says this is going to be the best one for me. So I definitely recommend that you look at several of them, maybe play around with demos of a couple of them, and just see if one of them really sticks out to you and really feels like it's the right one for you to use. Almost every single platform that I've looked at have many tutorials and videos of how to set things up, and so it's not you're not going to be limited about how you could potentially find these areas here. One of the just the really unique ones that I have seen in the past is TradeStation's Thinkorswim Platform. They do a really great job of setting you up with a one-on-one with one of their professionals to actually walk you through the whole thing. I've not seen anyone else do that, but that's a really unique offering that they give you. I tend to lean towards charts and platforms that I can customize, because in this particular case I know that I'm going to need some additional functionality later on. So if I see something that's a little bit too basic right off the bat, I probably won't go down that path. So I'm looking for some a very robust set of capabilities that I can spend the time to learn so I can get the most out of it later on. Another very important part is to check with the platform provider and figure out how does it store backups? Like how do you save your data? Some of the ones that I have used store it online, so it's very easily available where they manage it. The problem is that they manage it and there's nothing you can do about it if they lose it. Other ones you can store backups locally and then also move those ones to like a cloud provider or some other online area. The nice thing about those is you can recover them on your own, but the problem is then you have to store them and you have to put locations for them. So whatever is most comfortable for you, that could be potentially be a deciding factor as well. Finally, just my recommendations. So one of the things that I really liked with the TradeStation platform is it is very, very customizable. Not only from a charting perspective, with just being able to like draw the lines that I want on there, the zone areas. It's got, you know, hundreds of other analysis tools that you can put in there as you need that are all free on the platform itself. And it also has the ability to write custom scripts on it. And so, you know, really, that when you get to that customizable perspective, this platform, the TradeStation one, really is a very, very strong platform to customize. Just kind of full transparency here, I also use Thinkorswim Platform, which I have found useful in a lot of cases, but not quite as customizable. You guys on the show have seen me use the TradingView platform. Again, a little bit more basic, but their free version has just about everything that you would need to at least start out, so it's certainly not a bad option to look at there. That's it for us for the trading platform and the charting platform selections here. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. Please remember to subscribe to the channel so you get notifications as these new videos come out. Have a great and safe trading day. We'll see you all soon.